This was assigned on Thursday, percent of change word problems. If you did not complete that, this is the video on this to help you. If you did, go ahead and review this video and take notes so that you're understanding the process. Let's take a look at the first question. Sonia's heart rate was 76% or 76 beats per minute. Now she ran a mile on her treadmill and checked her heart rate again. This time her heart rate was 133 beats per minute. What was the percent increase in Sonia's heart rate? Okay, so this kind of reminds me of our track and field people for our cross country runners. When they first start off, they're not running at all. If you would take their heart rate, it's going to be pretty low. And then after the run, it's going to be very high. So here we're wanting to know what the percent increase is in her heart rate. You can use this form that Coach Vasquez had created. She added a little bit more to our line, equal line, equal line, to help you. That's going to be your choice. This is for that label. I like to use this part for the ratio tables, but if you're using this again for the percentage, you can do that as well. I am going to use a portion of it, but I'm going to add an extension because I like to write the formula down for part over whole equals percent over 100. So let's write down, we're going to identify the parts in the story, which was our success criteria for this past week. Can we do that? So in my extra space to work, I'm going to write down, what do I know? I know that her heart rate, so I'm going to put her heart rate was 76 beats. And I know that you can easily just circle and underline, but stars on the computer. So you can't circle, you can highlight portions, but I'm wanting you to pull the information out and putting it on paper so that you can start putting an imprint in your brain of what are strategies you can use to help you with short stories and understanding them. So this is what she started. And this is per minute. Then this is, so I'm going to put before, and this is after. And her heart rate really jumped up, right? 133 beats. This means per, or if you want to write out the word per, more than welcome. You got to do what's best for you and your brain. Now, this time her heart rate, we know that. So what was the percent increase? So this is, I'm going to put my question mark and put what was percent increase? All right, so now I know I need to look for the percent. I am comparing. So I need to take what she started with, which is going to be my whole, because this is the starting point. And then I need to take the difference. So I'm going to subtract 133 minus 76. And you don't have to keep everything in here. You can continue moving down for whichever problems that you need. So you can use as much space as you need. So it's 133 minus 76. I'm going to regroup. This becomes a 2. So 13 minus 6 equals 7. And then I have 12 minus 7 equals what? Okay, very good. So I'm going to have my 57. You can check your work by adding up. 7 plus 6 is 13. Regroup. 7 plus 5 plus 1 is 6 plus 7 is 13. And so that checks out. So this here now becomes my part because that is the difference. One of the things that I've noticed about 7th graders is you don't like to label your numbers. But if you don't label your numbers, you get lost on what they represent, and you're spending more time trying to figure out what you're doing rather than labeling and then filling into the formula. And when we get into geometry, you're going to have a lot of that. So you might as well get used to it now so that you're able to accomplish that goal in January. So I'm going to do my part, my whole, the percent out of 100. I know the percent I'm looking for, so I'm going to call that X. So this is going to be, I should have moved that over and move this over. So my part I have is going to be, I'm going to just write that down here. So my part is going to be, I said it was 57. So this is part. And my whole is going to be 76. The percent I said was going to be X, and everything's going to be out of 100. So one of the easiest things to compute for most is the cross multiplication. You can go back and divide. You can simplify it if you're able to. But if you're having some problems with it, the easiest part is to cross multiply. And I say easy, you're going to have to deal with some bigger numbers, but you can always reduce those out. So I'm crossing over. This is the same as 76. This is 76x equals, and I'm writing out this equation, 57 times 100. So this is 76. The 76x means 76 times x equals. Now, anything multiplied by zeros, I'm just going to add those to the end. So I'm going to circle those and add them to the end. So 1 times 57 equals 57. And I have 2 zeros I'm going to place at the end of my number, and that becomes 5,700. The next thing I'm going to do is to isolate my x. And to do that, I need to remember that I am multiplying 76 times x. Because it's multiplication, to move this number from one side to the other, I need to do the inverse, which means opposite. So what is the opposite of multiplication? It's division. So now I can divide this out. I'm going to bring down my x here, and then I'm going to solve my work. So I have 76 goes into 5,700. How many times? So 76 cannot go into 1, cannot go into 57, but it can go into 570. One of the ways that I do it is that I have my 76, and I have to think about, what can I multiply if I were to make this just even a 70? 7 times 7, that's 49. If I do 7 times 8, that's 56. Well, I still have to add that one in and multiply. So I know it's going to be way too big. So I'm going to do it with a 7. 7 times 6 equals 42. I'm regrouping. 7 times 7 plus 4. So that's 49, 50, 51, 52, 53. And that worked out perfectly. I'm going to subtract out next. 0 minus 0 is 0. 7 minus 3 equals 4. 5 minus 5 is 0. I can place that 0 there or leave it alone. For me, it's easier just to leave it alone because the less numbers I have to clutter, the easier it is for me. 76 does not go into 40, and I forgot to put my 7 right up here. I'm bringing down my 0. Now 76 goes into 40. So I knew that was 49. So now I need to go smaller. If I had 70 times 6, that's 42, way too big. So let me do 5. So 5 times 6 equals 30. 5 times 7 is 35, 36, 37, 38, and that worked out perfectly. Checking to see what happened here. I did something. Okay, couldn't figure out. Did you catch my mistake here? See this 2? And what I did is I ended up, so it's not 50. So if you caught it, way to go. Come in for a Jolly Rancher and let me know that you caught that. So this is going to be the 2. Now this makes more sense because I knew that was at 75. And so that makes it 7, 6. So 10 minus 2 equals 8. 6 minus 3 equals 3. And I brought down my 0. And then it makes it 5. So 380. Subtract that out and it's 0. So then x is equal to 75. So the percent increase was 75%. So this would be the answer for number 1. So you see how much space I took, and that's okay because you can use as much as you need to show your work and your thinking. I have my formula, and then I brought it down here. And I think that's what I will do is just to label that. So I would have that. All right, let's go to this next question. So on the next video, I'm going to go ahead and stop this part, and I'm going to have the next one there. So if you're needing help on number 2, then wait for the next video.